why he didn't get to art school. Recently, platform of a guy that's definitely not Mr. H sympathizer was just flooded with Adolf's artworks. I guess to prove a point that Nazis came into art, which is just bonkers in the first place. Firstly, his paintings were not good. He himself thought it's fire though, and I'm gonna explain exactly why they suck in a bit. But the other why X busted with these might be a pathetic try of humanizing one of the worst criminals ever, cause Elon definitely isn't neo-Nazi. And lastly, before we started this damn video, this obviously touches on controversial topics, so viewer discretion is advised and all of that crap, especially if you're a hailing moron, cause you will probably cry at me roasting this piece of shit. If y'all had a bit of artistic taste, you all would be flexing with futurists, not this fucked up. Jesus Christ, let's fucking go. Usually, I do a bit of information and a history on them in those videos, but I usually talk about real artists, not failed ones. So, I'm not gonna do it, I'm just gonna focus on the failing part, which occurred year after year in 1907 and 1908. But first, pretty good painting, right? You just enjoyed one of the 8 of Hitler paintings. Gotcha. Every goddamn time I see meme like this, I'm just looking at it for a split second and I see bunch of weird perspectives and shit. And that's how I usually stumble upon those images, because when I see the painting, I'm gonna look at the painting and then read shit around it. But we gonna look at them soon. So, first time he failed, it's 1907. He's 18 years old and trying to apply to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna for the first time. And despite passing initial exams, got rejected anyways, due to lack of drawing skills. Like, yeah, he could do shitty with perspective architecture, which normies don't see nothing wrong with. But come on, Fine Arts Academy teachers could spot this shit right away. Besides that, he lacked both in skill and work in rendering human figures. Maybe that's why later he started rendering people out. But the commission even noted that his portfolio contained of too few heads, meaning he lacked in the figure drawing, which is crucial skill if you want to go into arts. That's one of the main reasons he got rejected. Though, apparently, some asshole told him he ain't that bad with architecture. Which probably made him wanna go at it again. Because yeah, it might look alright at the first glance, if you don't know shit about visual art. Let me walk you through some of this shit and why it sucks. Firstly, Mr. PP seemed to not understand perspective, and if you don't get that, well, your proportion's gonna be kinda off. All he needed was a piece of string and a pin. I know he was poor as shit at the time, but come on. Pin and string perspective ain't that hard to do. On top of that, I don't think he understood light and shadows either, because his shit seemed to have multiple light sources for some reason. And looking at Vienna State Opera, you can tell he painted the building midday and the street either late or earlier that day, because the shadow direction of the light, I mean, just look at it. Dude seemed to not understand the goddamn day cycle, and no wonder he did not get in. He was trying to do that right after Monet's famous studies of weather and light cycle. And don't tell me, oh, this is a nice castle, actually. This thing is flatter than some of them white bitches. He did not understand distance. Like, look at this. The details is the same throughout the whole picture. Plus, again, there's also a bunch of different lights from different goddamn directions. And that pisses me off mostly about it, to be honest. Because fuck them perspective, that can be taught. But this shit you have to observe, you know? But that does explain why he probably didn't mind perspective shifts after the sniffy stuff later in life. Anyway, after trying to be sorry for him and giving him a little architectural compliment, he really thought he can get in the next year if he would just keep doing it. And he was probably sure, like, second time, easy, I'm gonna score it. But hey, no, bitch. So the second failure was in 1908. Mr. H was 19 at the time. And this time, he wasn't even let to take an exam after they looked at his shitty portfolio. Deemed yet again lacking heads, talent, pizzazz, being like good at all, lacking color, and on top of that, that they were outdated in style. Yes, when he was 19-year-old, people told him he's outdated. In 1908, motherfucker must have been the cringiest little try-hard student ever. After that, went crying and living in poverty, trying to sell his shitty work. And guess what? No one really bought it. And after that, yeah, you know the stitch. That's why you learn about motherfucker in school. Though, he didn't really drop the art thing though throughout his life. From some of the examples shown before, he didn't really improve throughout whole of it. And not gonna cover the rest of the shit cause ew, gringa. But it's showing that motherfucker did not improve at all. Like, if you're doing something a lot and you're still shitty at it, hey, maybe do not try to make an entire career out of it. Although, okay, in this particular case, I guess he did change the career path. That still leaves him as the worst fucking attempt at art I've ever seen. And for those of you that are like, they were worse, like Picasso. Shut the fuck up. They could paint good, you idiot. This is what Picasso was cooking at 15 years old. They all knew something. Anything. Colors, perspective, proportions. Hitler didn't and was not capable of understanding any of it. There's a visual difference between breaking the rule consciously and breaking the rule because you had no idea it exists. We can really tell that if you broke it because you didn't know, you little shits. Thank you all for coming to my TED Talk. Like, comment, and subscribe. And stop posting those neo-Nazi shit seriously. Because it's not as fucking good as you think it is. If you really like this fucked up topic, go and see how insane Dali was. And yeah, he was obsessed with the guy from that video.
Please, sa barangay,